Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Generation 2 Gold Solo Challenge Series. Today, we're going to have a duel with two solo challenges between Mantine and Skarmory. Before we begin, let's go over the challenge rules. Red must be defeated. The starter stats are random. No hidden power, mimic, or double team are allowed. No one-hit knockout moves are allowed. No egg or event moves are allowed. No glitches will be knowingly used. Okay, let's begin. What better way to kick off this series than comparing two similar Pokemon, Mantine and Skarmory? While competitively these two couldn't be any more different, similarities cannot be ignored. Each sits next to one another in the National Pokédex at number 226 and 227 respectively. Each is available only in gold and silver versions respectively. Each has the same base stat total, specializing in the special or physical stats respectively. The reason this comparison is so interesting to me is that difference we do see between these two in competitive Pokemon. Now I must admit, I haven't played Pokemon past Generation 4, which since then, competitive Pokemon has only become more notable. That being said, at least from what I can tell on Smogon and reality in general, Mantine has routinely been a basement dweller in tiering. On the other hand, Skarmory actually only went from an OU staple to UU in Sword and Shield. However, this isn't a false fight gaming video. This is indeed a solo challenge video. Where Skarmory shines is using its competitive move pool of Spikes or Whirlwind and Drill Peck. Well, I did just say I can't use egg moves, and Spikes is not going to be very useful for me in these runs. That means Skarmory is going to be comparable to Mantine. Mantine has never really had its moment to shine. Since its introduction, Mantine has largely been forgotten. In Generation 4, it did get a baby form, which exists, I guess. It's pretty okay in design in my opinion. I don't know what else you can say. It's pretty smudgy overall. Then in Generation 7, it got a bump to its hit points because of all the Dragon Ball Z-esque shenanigans that have been happening since X and Y. Mantine's Pokemon history has been nothing but one, unfortunately. So moving to type, stats, and movesets, let's first take a look at Mantine's. For single stage Pokemon in Generation 2, it surprisingly holds up. If you're unaware, there are plenty of examples of forgotten Generation 2 Pokemon that seem unfinished. We'll get around to more of those when the time comes. Mantine brings a great water flying type combination, negating any effects from ground types and adding resistances to grass and fighting allows for good synergy with the water type. Electric moves are an issue, but in Generation 2, you won't face anything too crazy for the most part. In terms of base stats, Mantine has average 65 hit points, poor 40 attack, average 70 defense, average 80 special attack, excellent 140 special defense, and average 70 speed, for a total of a decent 465 base stat total. In terms of moves, we're getting to the saddest part of this story. We're essentially going to be surfing for the most part and using the physical wing attack and special icy wind for coverage. Confuse Ray is fine, but definitely luck based. Some battles are going to be challenging, especially if we can't rely on Surf. For Skarmory, the Steel Flying type is just impeccable. Steel is steel, there's not much else to say. With Flying, you add an electric weakness, but avoiding Ground type is an overall benefit. Another great combination, and one that's not represented often in other Pokemon. Base stats mirror those of Mantine with average 65 hit points, average 80 attack, excellent 140 defense, poor 40 special attack, average 70 special defense, and average 70 speed for an overall base stat total of 465. If Mantine's move pool was bad, then Skarmory's is abysmal. We're looking at the best moves being Return, Steel Wing, and Fly, so we won't be hitting very hard with Skarmory. We'll have to stall to be successful. In my prediction, I think it's going to be close. Mantine the Forgotten will surprise you. However, there will be some major hurdles for Mantine to be successful, and relying on Confuse Ray is not going to help. To me, Skarmory does have the edge, but Skarmory's weak special defense is going to be a liability for the Elite Four, Red, and any special attackers we encounter. Skarmory will be more consistent and reliable for the challenge, but we might need to level it up. So with that, let's get to the challenge. We'll focus on Mantine until the first badge. We head to Professor Elm's lab to pick up Mantine and name it Storm. I think it's going to rain on the competition we face today. I set Chikorita as the rival's choice, but with Mantine's flying type, that point is moot. However, we won't pick up wing attack until level 40. So let's head to Mr. Pokemon and back to Elm's lab. As the footage is rolling in the background, we can see the initial performance of Mantine. Starting off with Bubble and Tackle is not bad. Poor attack stat is apparent. Bubble is also really weak with a 20 base power. The first rival fight could go poorly with Chikorita's grass type. So in the first battle, I opt for Tackle over Bubble. Unfortunately, Chikorita growls and nullifies Mantine's damage output. Game is going so fast that I can barely make out if we're cutting down on Chikorita's health. I switched to Bubble briefly, but that's a mistake. Honestly, without this berry, things would be impossible, and we make it out with 2 HP. It's not a great start so far. I'm not shaken to my core yet, though, because of what's to come. I'll always complete the optional Sprout Tower, because I can't walk around in the dark without Flash. Plus, the vibes are always a plus. I'm anticipating challenges for both Mantine and Skarmory ahead, so extra experience is welcome. Here we catch our first HM ace, since Mantine can't learn Fly, even though it has the flying type. It would be really nice if it had that move, but we're just gonna have to deal with that for now. Now we'll move to Sprout Tower, except actually right here, I almost lose to Bugcatcher Owl. Mantine is sustaining massive damage from poison, since it's having issues knocking out the bug Pokemon in one hit. At 2 HP, I'm pretty sure that we have no chance, but Mantine survives at 1 HP. Wow. I can't believe it. Luckily, we do have a Poison Cure berry, so we continue on. I do get a call from Mom, and she wants to keep my money. One funny thing about Generation 2 is when and how many times Mom buys things. It always happens at funny times. Should be consistent for the most part, I'm pretty sure, but it'll be fun for this video. So on to Sprout Tower. We make it to a gauntlet with some help from potions. At level 10, Mantine learns Supersonic. This move is barely useful, as seen in the footage rolling behind. I almost pay the price, but with some luck, we avoid a reset. We take down Sage Lee with no issues at all, and at level 11 we head to Faulkner. Admittedly, Mantine could handle Faulkner at an earlier stage. The first trainer, Spearow, can force you to heal, but right now it's not going to be an issue. Mantine can then spam Bubble to beat Faulkner. I don't know if Tackle would do more damage, but it doesn't really matter. We get the first badge and move on to Azalea Town. Now the question is, how is Skarmory going to fare? We head to Elm's lab and pick up the Steel Bird. Fittingly, we name it Steel Beam because it's solid. The Fire Starter Cyndaquil is set to be the rival's Pokemon. Because Cyndaquil can only scratch us at level 5, we'll cruise through this rival battle. I don't even bother healing before and use Leo to secure the one-hit knockout. Peck and Leo are nice moves to start with. Peck gets the same type attack bonus at 35 base power, and Leo can be helpful to counter any growls or to preserve power points. So we head to Faulkner first. I'm thinking I can save time by finishing off Faulkner and getting some experience before Sprout Tower. This will allow Skarmory to preserve its power points while pecking the Bellsprout. For Faulkner, I use Leer on each of his Pokemon to knock them out. Gus is only doing 2 points of damage. At level 9, he goes down hard and fast. I teach Skarmory Mud Slap. This should help with Geodudes ahead and some strategic misses, as well as additional power points. It will definitely get replaced quickly. Speaking of quick, we make quick work of the Sages in Sprout Tower and work our way to Azalea Town. On the way there, we get a call from Mom for our first item purchase. Thanks, Mom. Before Union Cave, we catch the Surf and Whirlpool HM Assistant Wooper. We have no issues getting through Union Cave and Slowpoke Well. After Slowpoke Well, you're auto-healed, so it's on to Bugsy's gem. Since Skarmory is Steel, the biggest threats, Poison and Fury Cutter, are made obsolete. In fact, almost everything is a one-hit knockout. Part of that is being over-leveled, but it's Generation 2, what can you do? We take down Scyther and level up to 19. Skarmory is going to pick up one of its signature moves here, Swift. It never misses, but has only 60 base power. At this point, it's our best option since it's Monday morning in game. Could the rival pose more of a threat? The short answer is maybe. While Skarmory and I are able to survive, the special defense is put on display here. Despite being over-leveled, Quilava's Ember is a bit unsettling. For now, we should be okay, but we'll see more of this liability moving forward. The first 2 badges for Skarmory were no issue. Does Mantine pick up momentum as it collects its badges? In Azalea Town, Mantine is ready for Bugsy after taking on the trainers in Union Cave and Slowpoke Well. The bug trainers shouldn't be difficult with the flying resistance. The twins Ladybug is quite annoying with the high special defense and confusion. The bug catcher also paralyzes and brings Mantine close to a reset. Mantine is having some serious damage output issues right now. These continue with the next trainer, Beedrill Fury attacks, and Fury attacks, and Fury attacks. Mantine is beaten down, but when it levels up, a glimmer of hope appears, Bubble Beam. This 65 base power move is a game changer at this point, and begins Mantine's reign of dominance. Bugsy's quick work. Although Mantine gets a critical hit, I don't think it matters for the end result. Next up is the second rival battle. First few Pokemon are no trouble. Bayleaf is a bit bulkier though. I try to get some confusion luck and use Bubble Beam. Luckily it works the first attempt, then Mantine gets poisoned. The Bubble Beams aren't doing too much damage and Mantine HP does get into dangerous territory. I think this battle only works with the confusion if poison is a factor. For now, we'll continue into Ilex Forest and getting to Goldenrod. As we pick up our HM ally Oddish and wrangle the Farfetch'd back to Charcoal Maker's son, I am planning the next few segments for Mantine. Whitney's going to be a problem at this level. Mantine can't get off enough damage currently for the Snubbull or the Clefairy in Whitney's gym. Okay, but seriously, Miltank is going to be able to dish massive damage if Mantine can't knock out Whitney's Miltank fast enough. Although speed drops are a secondary effect of Bubble Beam, we need to consider Mantine's middling defenses and weakness to roll out. A speed drop could let Mantine get off 2 Bubble Beams in a row, but I don't think Mantine should roll the dice with more than 4 total. Luckily, there are a ton of trainers between Route 34 and the National Park. I'm going to work on getting Mantine up to level 25 before taking on Whitney. I like setting the night time as my game's time setting because there are some high level Growlithe available if you talk to the policemen on the next 2 routes. It's kind of weird that they battle you, but it is what it is. In Goldenrod, I need to run some errands. One time I forgot to get the radio card in the radio tower. I didn't learn my mistake until getting to Lavender Town and Kanto many hours later. I then had to do the Magnet Pass side quest. Let's just say I don't forget anymore. I also grabbed the bike from the bike shop and take out some of the mandatory trainers in Goldenrod Underground. While training, I decided to teach Mantine Headbutt. It's less base power than Takedown, but I prefer the flinch effect over recoil damage. In the National Park, we get a phone call from Mom for more items. Nice. After this, I take on the Pokefan. I do remember his Raichu, but I overestimated Mantine's damage output. The Bubble Beam did not take it out, and Raichu paralyzes Mantine. This isn't good. First reset, and it's just from training. In the rematch though, there are no issues, and we continue training until level 25. So we'll skip ahead and take on Whitney. 2 Bubble Beams take down Clefairy, but it's not the start of the show. Miltank comes out. It hits immediately with rollout. 11 damage isn't too bad. Bubble Beam does half, and Miltank misses rollout. Bubble Beam finishes Whitney, and we're moving on to Ecruteak City. On the way, we wake up Sudowoodo, and it's one-hit knockout with Bubble Beam. I think it's really sad how Sudowoodo is a bad diet version of Snorlax. Never got the love it deserved. Anyways, it's time to take on the Kimono ladies and get Mantine's penultimate move. Jolteon will take on last. During our battles, Mom buys us another gift, and now it's time for Jolteon. We're 10 levels higher, but Jolteon has high special attack. However, Thundershock doesn't do as much as I thought it would. That's pretty good. Mantine's special defense shines through, and Bubble Beam takes care of the Jolteon. And then we talk to the old man to acquire Surf. This is Mantine's best move by far in terms of base power, power points, and consistency. Technically, Hydro Pump is a thing, but come on, we can't use that here. To showcase its power, let's take on Batty in the Burn Tower. Yeah, I know this battle is optional in Gold version, but I think for these runs, we should make it mandatory. First off is Haunter. Surf prevents it from getting off a curse. Then there's Magnemite, We won't have to worry about the quad weakness with the one hit from Surf. Zubat. Okay, so Bayleaf does take a few turns, but there's nothing it can do to us at this point. Alright, time for Morty. We skip ahead to his battle. My strategy is going to be use Surf and hope that Hypnosis doesn't keep us sleeping for too long. Surf takes care of his Ghastly. Surf takes care of his first Haunter. Then Gengar comes out. Unfortunately, it outspeeds and gets off a Hypnosis. Now we wait. While I'm waiting, Gengar uses Mean Look. I'm not sure if having my HM aces in my party actually influences the AI in this regard. Could Game Freak have anticipated solo challenges? I'm not sure. But while I'm thinking, Mantine wakes up finally, and Surf makes quick work of the rest of Morty's team. Very quickly, Mantine has picked up momentum. I think it will continue for a while, with Chuck's fighting types, Jasmine's steel types, and Price's ice types coming up. Let's take a look at Skarmory's progress to the next portion of the game. Can anything challenge this solid steel bird? While Mantine needed some training to get past Whitney, I think that Skarmory is going to be up to the challenge. After taking care of the first trainers in Route 34 and running errands, we take on Whitney. Versus Clefable, the damage Skarmory is doing does look a bit concerning. It's going to be a 3-hit knockout, unless we get a critical. Alright, next up is Miltank. It outspeeds, and after sustaining 4 damage from rollout, a peck from Skarmory takes about a 6 from Miltank. I don't really know, and I'm not about to measure some pixels. So instead, I opt for some Mud Slaps to build up on Leer later on in the battle. However, Miltank switches to Stomp and gets a flinch. I do think the damage is done though. Even with a Milk Drink, Whitney is no match for Skarmory. We get the Plane Badge, so from here we'll jump to Ecruteak City. While Skarmory had no issues with Whitney, there's too much valuable experience to pass up between Goldenrod and Ecruteak. I'm anticipating some serious issues with Skarmory later if it can't maintain momentum. We'll see. So after dismantling the Kimono ladies, we head on to take the Batty and Burn Tower. Skarmory's damage output isn't enough to stop Haunter from getting off a curse. I don't really see a path forward if we can't take out Quilava, not to mention its fire moves. Magnemite is luckily a one-hit knockout. Keep in mind, Curse only takes effect on moves that the enemy Pokemon isn't defeated. I think in later generations that changes, but let's stay in Generation 2 for now. As is apparent, we don't take out Batty's Quilava and take some curse damage. Perplexingly, Quilava goes for a smoke screen. Swift takes us to half health. Then stupefyingly, Batty does not choose Ember and goes instead for Leer. Whatever, man. We take the victory after knocking out Zubat. So before we take on Morty, I decided to pick up a Mint Berry for Skarmory. This berry will wake you up if you fall asleep. I'm worried about Skarmory's potential to take out Gengar with Peck. So, let's take on Morty. Ghastly comes out, and while it's a one-hit knockout, I don't think Haunter will be. So instead, I opt for Mud Slap because I anticipate Curse. Instead, Haunter goes for Nightshade, which I accept. Gengar time. Hypnosis lands, but Mint Berry wakes up Skarmory. Peck is doing decent damage, and second Hypnosis misses. It's worth noting that we are outspeeding Gengar here, which is good. We knock out Gengar and the rest of Morty's Pokemon to acquire the 4th badge. We head to Olivine City for the Medicine Fetch quest in the Lighthouse. I'm pretty sure there's no other way than to head up to the top first. On the way, we are going to face many underlevel trainers. However, with enough luck, we should be able to skip a few. There's no way around the last, but we can't avoid this guy if we go around here. Nice. There's one more we can skip. Nice. At the top, we get the errand to go across the sea. We'll pick up Shucky and get the medicine and fight Chuck. And I forgot Strength. So we'll drop off the medicine in Olivine and head back to Cyanwood to take on Chuck and pick up Fly. Chuck does his speech and throws the rock. I wonder if Peck is going to do enough. It is enough to take out Primate. On Poliwrath, it does half, and Hypnosis misses. Not too bad. Now at this point, we get Skarmory's best move in the game, Fly. It's a 2-turn attack move that will usually hurt us more than it helps. At least we get the same type attack bonus. We fly back to Olivine to take on Jasmine. Will her battle be as easy as Chuck's? I don't have any real strategy other than Mudslap. At Skarmory's level, that is very embarrassing, but it's very hard to hit steel types. I think we can stall long enough to win out. Let's see what happens. On the first Magnemite, Mudslap does a lot of damage, but it's not enough to one-hit knockout. Paralysis could be bad here, but it misses. We finish it off. Next Magnemite, same thing. We get another lucky miss. Paralysis, I think, could have ended things here. For Steelix, we're going to use Leer. Steelix only uses Screech and Iron Tail. The damage it's causing is very manageable. I tried Mudslap, but Fly is going to do more damage overall. I think we got this. Even though Jasmine uses a Hyper Potion, Fly is doing too much damage for Steelix. So we take Mineral Badge. Although we won that battle, I'm not feeling good with the moveset Skarmory has. Fly, Leer, Swift, and Mudslap as your moveset is abysmal. It's unacceptable. Unfortunately, it's all we can use for now, and luckily for us, we have Price to look forward to. On the way to the Lake of Rage, we pick up a Goldeen and name it Ace. We need to be able to use Waterfall, and catching the Gyarados is hard. Speaking of Gyarados, the battle is not too hard by using Fly. It's a 2-hit knockout. Well, as long as I don't try to use Mudslap. I always forget it has the flying type. So now it's time to do a major time skip. The Rocket hideout in Mahogany Town is a joke. In fact, I'll just save you the headache in this video, so let's skip ahead right now. So on to Price. His first Pokemon will be Seal. Fly takes it out in one hit. Next is Dugong. Fly takes it out too. At this point, we're level 44. Fly knocks out Piloswine. I'm not sure if the critical mattered, but with that, we acquire the Glacier Badge, and it's time to head to Goldenrod City to finish up the radio tower before heading to Claire. So this stretch of the game was very easy for Skarmory. We'll check back in with Mantine and see how things are going for it. After clearing out the lighthouse and heading to Cyanwood, I decide Mantine isn't ready yet for Chuck. We don't have Wing Attack, and Mantine doesn't have a good way to combat Poliwrath, so we train up to level 36 and take on Chuck's gym. Luckily this time we didn't forget Strength. First is Primate. We use Surf, and it doesn't knock it out. Uh-oh, this can't be good. Luckily for us, Leer fails. It should normally land, but Generation 2 mechanics makes it miss 25% of the time if you're the opponent. Poliwrath could devastate Mantine's weaker defense stat if that landed. We move on with Bubble Beam. Poliwrath is going to be tough, but we outspeed, and Surf does half damage with a critical hit. Poliwrath takes aim, giving us another chance with Surf. Dynamic Punch lands a critical hit, but honestly, that's not too much damage. Confusion doesn't stop us, and we take another Surf to take out the Poliwrath. We move past Chuck. Now we head back to Olivine to get the medicine to the Ampharos. Uh-oh, I did forget to get it. So I guess that'll balance out with Skarmory's mistake as well. Once we return, we're ready to take on Jasmine. This one shouldn't be too bad if we get past the Magnemite. In fact, I don't even bother healing before taking her on. Surf takes out the 2 Magnemite. It turns out I ran out of power points for Surf, but Bubble Beam will do the trick. Oh, it's so close. After one hit, Jasmine tries to heal up, and Sunny Day is annoying, but a few Bubble Beams will take care of Steelix. We're on to Price. After skipping a large part of the game, Price starts off with Seal. Wing Attack is our best option since it's part water type. It's not even a one-hit knockout though. Icy Wind and Speed Drop are annoying, but it shouldn't be too bad. One more Wing Attack finishes it off. Wing Attack on Dugong does do good damage, but it's a critical hit. We still outspeed, but Dugong hits with a critical hit Aurora Beam. Mantine's special defense is excelling here. One more Wing Attack takes care of the Dugong, and we're on to Piloswine. Very quickly, we take out the Piloswine. And so, at 1 hour and 20 minutes, we've got 7 badges with Mantine. Skarmory's time was 1 hour and 14 minutes, a 6-minute difference. Mantine is at level 41, and Skarmory is at level 44. These Pokemon are in the same experience group. It looks like even though Skarmory's move pool is bad, since it's not using any moves that rely on special attack, it'll be able to knock things out quickly. Mantine, on the other hand, isn't hitting as hard, and the battles it's taking a part in are a little bit slower. We'll see how much this gap separates. We'll continue looking at Mantine to see how it fares at the 8th gem up to the Elite Four. After what seems like ages, and in reality 20 minutes, Mantine is knocking on the door of the Blackthorn City gym. I ought to teach Icy Wind to Mantine here, since it will be decent against Claire's dragon types. I am worried though, Mantine can't handle paralysis well, and this first trainer loves to use Dragon Rage as well, which is one of the scariest moves to see if you're in a run like this and you're paralyzed. Let's see how the first battle goes. The first Dratini is a one hit. Nice. The rest of the battle shouldn't... Oh my, this can't be good. A miss. And a paralysis. Another miss, and... But finally we knock it out. There's still one left. Mantine picks up its second reset of the run after another Dragon Rage. That was bad luck, so let's try that again. Icy Wind, unfortunately, is a 95 base accuracy move, which essentially means it's 50 accuracy when you need it most. Luckily, the rematch does go smoothly. In fact, the rest of the gym is no challenge, and we've reached Claire. Let's see how this goes. First Dragonair is a one-hit knockout. The second is as well. The third survives, but one nice thing about Icy Wind is that there is a 99.6% chance for a speed drop. That's true apparently, look it up. Unfortunately, Mantine still gets paralyzed and the Dragonair gets another opportunity. However, Slam misses and Wing Attack takes it out. Last up is Kingdra. I'm not too worried, but paralysis could be problematic. I try and try to get off Confuse Ray, and it finally lands. Unfortunately, through confusion, Mantine is hit with Smokescreen. This is going from kinda okay to not kinda okay. Luckily, Icy Wind hits and does about a third. Kingdra hits itself and we're paralyzed. Dragon Breath hits, but then we hit back with Icy Wind. One more hit with Confusion and Icy Wind hits, meaning Mantine has defeated Claire. It's time to move on to the Indigo Plateau. Soon after arriving to Kanto, Mom calls us. These Pokegear must have great international calling lands and rates. While the footage rolls in the back, we should talk about Mantine's strategy going into the Elite Four. With Surf, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, and Icy Wind, Mantine has some troubling times ahead. There is no killer move it has, and I think there's going to be one major roadblock in our path. Karen. Her Umbreon is going to be a major headache with Confuse Ray and Sand Attack. At our level, we can't knock it out in one hit. I think Lance is also going to be really annoying, since Paralysis is going to cripple Mantine and its relatively low defense, at least compared to its special defense. We'll see what happens. So now, it's time to take on the last rival battle for Mantine, at least, and see how that goes. So yeah, I pretty much one-shot everything. Well, except for Mechanium, but I mean, whatever. No damage is nice going into Elite Four. I do decide to train up to level 55 before starting this gauntlet. Will it be enough? Before we answer that, we need to check in on Skarmory and see how the rest of the first part of the game goes for it. So, Skarmory shouldn't have too many issues at Claire's gym. The first battle that caused Mantine to reset goes much better for Skarmory. It knocks out each Dratini in one hit with Fly. We'll skip ahead to the battle with Claire. So like the Dratini battle, Fly takes out each of Claire's Dragonair. We get to Kingdra and set up Fly, but it misses. Surf does moderate damage and we set up Fly again. This time it does connect for a critical hit, knocking it out. With that, all the Johto badges have been acquired for Skarmory and it's time to head to Elite Four. Skarmory has had little issues so far. No resets and no major threats yet. Skarmory will face some difficulties at Karen and Lance, because each has fire moves with Houndoom and Charizard. I think Lance will be more difficult since Skarmory will likely be paralyzed, and even with its high defense, I see Flamethrower jeopardizing Skarmory's chances at a perfect resetless run so far. Skarmory will likely need to hit a little harder than it can right now to ensure some consistency at the Elite Four. I think it's abysmal that Mudslap and Swift have both made it so far. I think I will opt for Rest and Return to give Skarmory some better options than these two moves. We will need Swift through Koga at least to ensure consistency, but Return will be needed for Lance. Before taking on the league, we need to take care of the last baddie battle with Skarmory. Since Skarmory is close enough, I go ahead and grind up to level 56. First is Sneasel. Before it even gets a chance, Steel Wing takes it out. For Magneton, I'm really unsure if Swift is going to take care of it, so I opt for Mud Slap instead because it's quad weak to the move, and more importantly, it reduces accuracy. Unfortunately, Mud Slap does not knock it out in one hit, and Skarmory is hit with a Thunder Wave. Thunder Shock misses, thankfully, and Mud Slap finishes it off. Next is Typhlosion. It goes for Smokescreen but misses. Skarmory, however, can't set up the rest of Fly with its paralysis. Flame Wheel hits and does great damage. Fly is set up, but Skarmory is paralyzed again. Flame Wheel hits, Skarmory steps up Fly, only to be paralyzed once again. Flame Wheel hits, knocking us out for our first reset. I'm perturbed. This was totally unexpected. The second battle actually doesn't go much better. Even after grinding up to level 57 and taking care of the first Sneasel, we still can't one-hit knock out the Magneton. This time it hits with Thunder Shock for a critical. Uh-oh. Flame Wheel hits, but luckily we set up and hit with Fly. It's a one-hit knockout, which is good to see for Batty's ace. I opt for Steel Wing on Golbat and knock it out. I do the same for Haunter, but it sets up Curse. I really need Steel Wing to hit Kadabra or we get reset number 2. We did it. Nice. But honestly, I'm stupefied at Skarmory's performance on what is normally a straightforward battle with a rival. Skarmory's move pool needs a massive upgrade and maybe some extra levels before we're ready. I get Skarmory up to level 61 and I finally think we're ready to take on the Elite Four. First is Will. I'm not expecting too much of a challenge. If there's a will, there's a way, as they say. So first is Xatu. Steel Wing knocks it out. Next is Slowbro. I decide for Fly. Slowbro goes for Amnesia, gets hit, and then goes for Curse. It's too little too late. The next Xatu is hit with Steel Wing unless it misses, which it did. Psychic hits and lowers Skarmory's special's defense. I go for Fly and knock it out. Next is Jinx. Steel Wing misses again, but Double Slap doesn't do too much. Steel Wing number 2 does a trick and it's up to Executor. Fly takes it out and we're through Will. Now for Koga. I save Swift all this time for you, buddy. I take out the Ariados with Steel Wing. Next is Fortress, and Steel Wing does critical damage, but it's not even half. I decide for 2 Swifts in a row. If I anticipate correctly, I'll fly at the right time. Nice. I do it right and avoid the explosion. This is definitely the biggest benefit of Fly right here. Skarmory almost knocks out Muck in one hit. It uses Minimize, but Swift takes care of it. Time for Crobat. Fly does not knock it out. Koga will always just go for Full Restore here. However, Minimize is no match for another Fly and Swift to finish off Crobat. Venomoth goes down to a single Steel Wing, and Koga is defeated. It's on to Bruno. Now, I have nothing but nice things to say about Bruno. If you do one of these challenges and have the wrong type, I can see things going south very quickly. I will say that Hitmonchan is pretty bad before the physical special split in later generations, but what can you do? Skarmory will outmatch Bruno today. With Fly and Steel Wing, there is no answer. Unfortunately, Hitmontop has Detect, so instead of Fly, we'll have to use Steel Wing. Next, Fly takes care of Hitmonchan. Fly takes care of Machamp. Steel Wing takes care of Onix, and Fly finishes Hitmonlee. It's on to Karen. Let's see how this goes. Fly hits Umbreon. We don't get hit with Sand Attack, but we do get hit with Confuse Ray. I decide for Swift because I'd rather get Umbreon out of the way and deal with Confusion on our next Pokemon. Houndoom comes out. If we can touch it, then we should be good. Fly is set up, but we're hitting Confusion. Luckily, it decides to go for Roar. Now, I'm not sure how the mechanic works here. Will it always go for Roar even if I'm in a solo party? I really need to find an answer to make sure I can avoid if I need to in the future. However, it doesn't matter right now. We let the Houndoom knock out and switch Skarmory back in. An unfortunate byproduct for Karen, is that Confusion is cured, and so we knock out the Houndoom. Gengar is a one-hit. Murkrow is a one hit. Vileplume is a one hit. If we can hit, which we finally do. And now with Karen defeated, it's time for Lance. Here I opt to teach Return and Rest. We'll need them since Skarmory can't hit hard enough with its current level and moveset. I also give Skarmory a Paralysis Cure Berry. I've done everything we can to ensure victory. Let's see what happens. First is Gyarados. And it sets up Rain Dance. Fly doesn't take it out, and Return finishes it off. Now, I need to be careful here. Rain Dance increases Thunder's accuracy, and that's exactly what Dragonite that's coming out. Return hits and does more than half. Luckily, we get hit with a Thunder Wave and not Thunder, and our Berry takes care of that status. Return knocks out the first Dragonite, but we're not done yet. On the next, we use Fly, and it's not enough to knock it out. Blizzard hits, which is a 70 base accuracy attack. Keep that in mind. Return hits and knocks out the second Dragonite. Next up, Charizard. Luckily we're not paralyzed, but we are a little low on HP. Indecisively though, I opt for Fly. Whatever you do, don't press rest. Come on, man. So we set up Fly, and we miss. Flamethrower hits, and we're toast. Nope, my program is not frozen. I am just in, let's say, shock at the miss. Reset number 2, baby. I decided to grind up for one more level. Some of those battles just didn't feel too consistent. We're close enough to leveling up anyways. Back at Will at level 62, things go well. Xatu's a one hit with Steel Wing. Slowbro is hit with Fly, then Swift. My controller unplugs for a minute here, so let's skip ahead. I don't know why, but I'm adamant about using Swift, and I pay the price here. Luckily, we don't get too far gone. Steel Wing takes out Xatu number 2, and we set up Fly, then take out the Executor. Will is down. Oh, I guess Fly is not a one hit, and that critical earlier mattered. Okay, anyways, Swift finishes Will off, and we're off to Koga. Inexplicably, I decide to use Fly first. I really need to get my act together. Ariados uses Double Team and Fly misses. I'm worried for Baton Pass, so I just hit with Steel Wing. Nice, it's gone. Next up is Fortress. Steel Wing misses. Luckily, it always sets up spikes. Second time around, Steel Wing hits. I then decide to start going for Mud Slap and don't time the explosion right. Oh well, on to Mach. I always use Mud Slap and then finish it off with 2 Swifts. Crobat, I hit with Steel Wing. Unfortunately, it's not enough to knock out, so I switch to Swift after Koga heals. Venomoth is a one hit with Steel Wing. On to Bruno. I try Steel Wing, but it misses. On the second attempt, it knocks out Hitmontop in one hit. The rest of his Pokemon are also one hits. Fly on Hitmontop, Steel Wing on Onix, Fly on Hitmonlee, and Fly on Machamp. Next is Karen. So far so good. At Karen, I heal up and use Max Elixir. First, Fly hits, but instead of Confusion, I get hit with Sand Attack. We finish Umbreon off with Swift. Next is Houndoom, and I'm a little bit worried. I set up Fly and luckily don't miss. Next is Gengar. Steel Wing doesn't miss either, which is good. Murkrow isn't one hit with Swift, and my HM Ace gets dragged out. Skarmory comes back out and finishes the job. Vileplume is finished with Fly. In not much time, Skarmory has made it back to the champion. I spend some time teaching Skarmory the moves it needs. I think I need to change up the strategy and keep the Sharp Beak. I'll use Rest instead. To start the battle, we set up Fly again against Gyarados. Unluckily, Gyarados uses Surf instead of Rain Dance first. That means Thunder will last a little bit longer. We knock out Gyarados and move on to the Thunder Dragonite. First, it gets off a Thunder Wave. I decide to rest, but that may be a bit of a gamble. Thunder hit for 77 damage. Not as much as I thought. We wake up and knock it out. This time we're ready and send Skarmory back to sleep. This Dragonite knows Blizzard, which can't hurt as much as a Thunder or Fire Blast. When we wake up, we go for Return. Our HP is low, so to play it safe, we rest one more time. For Blizzard to be 70 base accuracy, it is hitting a lot. Luckily, Dragonite finally has to go for Hyper Beam, presumably for running out of power points, so we'll have a little bit more HP when we wake up. We rest one more time, and Dragonite has to keep using Hyper Beam. We make it to Charizard with significantly more HP than last time. We set up Fly, and this time it doesn't miss, knocking it out in one shot. The next Pokemon is Dragonite. It knows Fire Blast, so we use Fly to avoid it. We hit, and it decides to go for Outrage, which is excellent. Return finishes it off. Finally, it's Aerodactyl, but I think Steel Wing will do the trick. And it's over. Skarmory has conquered the Indigo Plateau. It's on to Kanto. It only took 2 hours and 21 minutes. How will that compare to Mantine's time? It's time to take on Will. I'm curious if Mantine will have trouble with its relatively low special attack and knocking out Will's Pokemon in one hit. For the first Xatu, one Surf is enough. Jinx does not go down next. Lovely Kiss puts Mantine to sleep. After a couple of Psychics and a double slap, Mantine decides to finally wake up and finish off Jinx. Slowbro takes about a third from Surf and uses Amnesia, so it's time to switch to Wing Attack. It also does about a third. I opt for Confuse Ray and we get lucky and finish off Slowbro. On the second Xatu, I go for Confuse Ray again and it hits itself. A Surf after that takes it down. On Executor, we use Confuse Ray once again. And once again we get lucky and it hits itself in Confusion. We finish it off with Icy Wind defeating Will. That battle was really lucky. We got a lot of good Confusion luck and Mantine sustained pretty good damage due to its inability to consistently knock out his Pokemon. If Mantine doesn't make it through this first time, Will could be troublesome in a later battle. But with that, we're off to Koga. I'm expecting a better matchup here. One Surf takes care of Ariados. Surf takes care of Fortress. Muk survives one Surf, but it doesn't matter. It goes down. Surf doesn't knock out the Crobat either, but it does take enough damage for Koga to use a full restore. Mantine tries again, and still can't secure the knockout. Toxic misses, which is good, and Wing Attack finishes off Crobat. Surf takes care of Venomoth, and we defeated Koga. Bruno unfortunately won't be much of a challenge for Mantine. Theoretically, Thunder Punch from Hitmonchan, and especially Rock Slide from Machamp could be problematic if a critical lands, but Surf should minimize any chances for Bruno to end Mantine's run here. On Hitmontop, since it's more defensive, I opt for Confusion to help prevent too many quick attacks. The first doesn't work, but the second time Hitmontop hits itself in Confusion and Wing Attack takes it out. Hitmonchan is next. Wing Attack doesn't do enough and it hits with Thunder Punch. 35 base special isn't enough and Wing Attack takes it out. Surf 1 hits Onix. The critical doesn't matter. Next is Machamp. Surf does good damage to Machamp but Rock Slide hits. Luckily it's not too much. Bruno uses a Max Potion and Wing Attack hits for over half. Another Wing Attack lands and takes down the Machamp. Hitmonlee goes down to a single Wing Attack and the duel with Bruno is over. Mantine moves on to Karen. Karen is going to be tough. Umbreon is so defensive that Mantine can't knock it out in one hit. That means either Confusion or Sand Attack will hit, or both, and we really want Confusion. Sand Attack is just unbearable. To counter, we first use Confuse Ray. Unfortunately, we do get hit with Sand Attack. Luckily, Surf hits, doing over half. Umbreon hits again with Sand Attack and Surf finishes Umbreon off. This is really bad, but if we hit Gengar with Surf and prevent the curse, then we have a good chance. However, we use Surf and miss, and it uses Curse. Okay, but if we hit with Surf here, we won't take damage. We miss. We use Surf again, and miss. We use Surf again, and miss. We use Surf one more time, and miss. It's over. That was tough. I try again a couple of times with the same result, so I decided to grind a few more levels just to let Mantine have more consistent results. I think we're close. Let's see what happens at level 57. We breeze by Will, Koga, and Bruno. So how will Mantine do against Umbreon now? Similar to last time, we use Confuse Ray and hope for Confusion. Instead, we get Sand Attack. Luckily, we hit with Surf, but Umbreon hits us for Confusion. We hit ourselves not once, not twice, but 3 times before finally knocking it out with Surf. Hopefully, since we only had one Sand Attack, In this battle against Gengar, it should go a little better. We snap out of confusion and Surf misses. Gengar uses Curse and it's all but over. Oh wait, we hit Gengar. Next is Murkrow, so this should be easy. We use Surf and miss. We use Surf again and miss. Well, that was disappointing, but I think Mantine is ready to break out. I immediately go back and take on Will. We breeze through back to Karen, and this time I change my strategy and skip Confuse Ray and go on the offensive. Only one sand attack from Umbreon before it's taken down. If we can take out Gengar quickly, I think we got this. We use Surf and it lands. Gengar is gone. We miss Surf a few times against Murkrow, but it goes down too. So far so good. Not having Curse is really nice. Wing Attack on Vileplume does decent damage. It's not enough, and it uses Stun Spore, hitting Mantine with Paralysis at a critical time. After a turn of Paralysis, Mantine takes Vileplume out with a Wing Attack. Houndoom will go down to 1 Surf, but the problem is we need to be able to hit it. With Paralysis and a Sand Attack, it's going to be a little tense. Crunch hits and we're paralyzed. Crunch hits again, no critical hit, and Surf hits. It's over, we defeated Karen finally. It's time for Lance. Gyarados is going to be the most problematic foe today. As long as Icy Wind hits, let alone 1 hits Dragonite, then we should make it past any Thunder or Thunder Waves. Let's see what happens. I think our best move here against Gyarados is Surf. It does about a third and Gyarados goes for Flail. I'm not sure why, but all I can say is that's good. We confuse and it hits with Hyper Beam. That doesn't do too much damage, and even better, it has to recharge. We surf our way through Gyarados and it goes down after 2 turns. Dragonite number 1. We use Icy Wind, it hits, and it's a 1 hit. Dragonite number 2. We use the same strategy and no miss. It goes down. Aerodactyl is next. As long as it doesn't outspeed, then we should be good. Okay, it does, but as long as it doesn't hit, we should be good. Okay, it does, but as long as we don't flinch, and we do. At least it wasn't a critical. It wasn't. We have one more chance, but it hits, and we go down. So we were pretty close that time, but that's just the way it goes. I think that was pretty unlucky though, so let's try that again. When we get back to Karen, we'll start with the same offensive strategy. We just go for Surf immediately, get hit with Sand Attack, and Surf hits the next turn. On Gengar, we also hit. That's very nice. On Murkrow, we hit yet again. Houndoom, we hit. Wow, if that last try was unlucky, this one is very lucky with all the hits we're getting. We finally do miss with the Icy Wind at Vileplume, but it misses on Spore. Finally, Icy Wind hits and does good damage, but Vileplume is still standing. However, Karen misses again. Wing Attack finishes Vileplume off. We took no damage that battle. In fact, we gained HP if you count the level we earned. I think this momentum is going to pay off against Lance. We should go in there with the same strategy, but hopefully we don't flinch on that Rock Slide from Aerodactyl. Gyarados is first. I decide to go for Confusion, and it hits itself, and Surf takes it down to half. Very luckily, Confusion causes Gyarados to hit itself again, and Surf finishes it off. It's time for Dragonite. Icy Wind number 1 hits, Icy Wind number 2 hits. On to Aerodactyl at full health. I think we got this. Rock Slide hits, and there's no flinch. Surf finishes it off. Last Dragonite. We use Icy Wind number 3, and it doesn't go down. Luckily, this is the Fire Blast Dragonite, not the Thunder one. Heart Rage gets us into orange health, but I think we can take out Charizard quickly. Charizard comes out, and we do take it down, and it's over. Mantine has defeated Lance. It took about 2 hours, 18 minutes, a little bit faster than Skarmory, but we all know the game is all but over yet. It's time for our 2 Johto counterparts to take on the Kanto region and get to Mount Silver. So admittedly, while Kanto is really cool and fun to explore, for these challenges, it's mostly just a victory lap and a way to gain a lot of experience before taking on the difficult final battle in Red. Today, however, Mantine has a 4 times weakness to Electric type. Could Surge possibly pose a threat to the Water Flying type? Surely not. When we take on the Lieutenant, it seems as Raichu could be a threat. We outspeed, Surf hits, and it goes down. Magneton is next, and it goes down to Surf. Electabuzz goes down. Electrode goes down. And his second Electrode goes down. Okay, Surge wasn't too bad. After picking up badges from Sabrina and Erica, we head to Cycling Road to take on Janine. On the way, we get another call from Mom. Then after finishing the power plant quest, we get one more call from her. Hopefully she's doing okay. After defeating Misty and picking up the expansion card, we catch Snorlax with our Master Ball to get the most important item in Pokemon history, Leftovers. Brock, Cal, and Blue are no problem, so now we've arrived at Mount Silver. We grind up to level 71 and use our rare candies to get to level 79. How hard could it be? As long as we get past Pikachu and Snorlax, we should be fine. First is Pikachu. We outspeed and it goes down to a single Surf. Next is Espeon. We use Confuse Ray, but it gets off a Reflect. It seems we're at a speed tie as it outspeeds, but it hits itself in confusion. I think I got confused here and started using Wing Attack when I should have been using Surf. I'm sorry. I get hit with Psychic over and over again. And finally, Espeon goes down. We don't have a lot of HP left. On Snorlax, we use Confuse Ray and get some luck. We use Surf and it does about a third damage, but no more, as Snorlax uses Amnesia. So we switch to Wing Attack and we get hit with Body Slam. Snorlax is still confused and all we can do is hope. We hit with Wing Attack and Snorlax hits itself again. Wing Attack finishes Snorlax and we're moving on to Blastoise. We go for Confuse Ray, but Blastoise hits with Blizzard, leaving us at critical health. Surf hits, and luckily this time Blizzard misses, giving us a chance to heal a little bit. We hit with Surf again, but Blizzard hits again. In addition, Blastoise is no longer confused. We use Confuse Ray, and it hits itself. If we can just get a few more lucky chances, we might have this. Unfortunately, Surf doesn't crit, and Blizzard hits, taking Mantine out. On the second attempt, Mantine takes out Pikachu quickly. This time, Espeon outspeeds us first, and we're taking serious damage from Psychic. We get hit with Psychic again, but luckily we outspeed the next time and get the knockout after 2 Surfs in a row. We use Surf first, but it's doing about a quarter. Then Snorlax goes for Amnesia, which is not good. We use Confuse Ray to try and trip up Snorlax in case it goes to rest, but Body Slam hits and takes a large chunk off Mantine. One more Body Slam and Mantine is done. After a lot of resets, I decided to train another level and use rare candies up to level 80. That also doesn't really work out for me. Mantine does not match up well against Red's team. It can't hit hard enough to get past the Snorlax, and Blastoise is usually there to finish it off. Well, after a bunch more resets, I'm losing hope. I think one more, and I might have to start training again. First, Pikachu. It goes down. Next, Espeon. It also goes down. And now, Snorlax. I'm in dire straits right now, but we go for the confusion. It hits itself, and we can actually use Surf. Almost down to half. It hits itself again, and then wow, a critical hit. We're at full health. This is actually unbelievable. We confuse Blastoise and start spamming Wing Attack. Surf actually does more damage here, but I guess I was pretty set on using a weaker strategy. Since we didn't get a special defense drop on Espeon, Blizzard isn't doing much damage. After Blastoise snaps out of Confusion, we hit it again, and this time Confusion luck starts to go our way. Eventually we finish it off and we're on to Charizard. We outspeed, and Surf takes care of it in one hit. Finally, Venusaur. We use Confusion again and it hits itself. We use Wing Attack and it crits, taking Venusaur to critical health. It hits itself in Confusion and it's over. Mantine has dominated Pokemon Gold version. Well, dominate is a strong word, but still. It finishes at the 3-hour 13-minute mark at level 80 with 16 resets and an in-game time of 10 hours 22 minutes. Let's check on Skarmory's performance. Kanto poses no threat to Skarmory. When we get to Mount Silver, we're at the ripe level of 82 after rare candies. This should be more than enough to take down Red. We should have enough speed to avoid Pikachu and the power to take down Snorlax and Charizard. Let's see. Return dismantles Pikachu. Fly does about half the Charizard, and Charizard's Flamethrower does a ton of damage to Skarmory, yet we survive. One more Fly finishes Charizard off. Espeon is next, and it uses Reflect as we set up Fly. Psychic is doing decent damage. We set up another Fly and take it down to red. At this point, I decide to use Rest just to be safe. I don't think Psychic can do too much, and I'd like to see the Reflect wear off before taking on the next Pokemon. After using another Fly to recover some health, Espeon is disposed of, and we're on the Snorlax. Here, I decide to use Steel Wing. The first one does decent damage, and Body Slam isn't too damaging to Skarmory. The second Steel Wing crits, and we take out the Snorlax. Unbelievable. On to Venusaur. One Fly is enough to take it out. Blastoise is next. It sets up Rain Dance as we set up Fly. Fly doesn't even do half, and Surf does about the same. We use Return and take Blastoise down to red health, as it does the same to us with Surf. This was close, but unfortunately we take the victory. Skarmory clocks in with 3 hours and 6 minutes, real time, level 82, and 2 resets, with an in-game time of 11 hours, 23 minutes. Well, this was a lot of fun. My prediction was close. While Mantine had some struggles with hitting things, Skarmory was a lot more consistent. However, I feel like I planned a little better with Skarmory, as fire moves were a big obstacle to making progress. While both Pokemon sported beefy and parallel stats, their movesets were the limiting factors in these runs. If I had to give the edge, it will go to Skarmory, but Mantine is respectable. If I had a grading scale, Skarmory would get a B, while Mantine gets a C. We'll see moving forward where these two end up. I hope you had fun on this journey of Generation 2 counterparts. Although they've diverged from their original associations since Generation 4, I'm proud to showcase the largely forgotten Mantine. I look forward to shining the spotlight on some more obscure Generation 1 and Generation 2 Pokemon in these challenges. Doing this duel was a lot of work. I think this format works well. Most of my challenges are going to focus on a single Pokemon unless the challenge format warrants a duel. I also caught some of my strategic mistakes while reviewing this footage. One needless obstacle was not using Confuse Ray on Snorlax as it slept. I realize now that sleep cures confusion and Snore was causing some preventable damage. In addition, Mantine was female and Skarmory was male. Believe it or not, this actually matters a little bit in Generation 2, determining things such as attack. While for Mantine, it didn't matter too much, since we never relied on its attack stat too heavily, it could have helped with a few wing attacks here and there. I'll keep that in mind moving forward to use male Pokemon if possible. Thankfully, Game Freak did address this in Generation 3, but for now it's something we'll have to deal with in Generation 2. Anyways, if you have any comments that are positive or negative, I welcome all feedback and I'll read every single comment. All I ask for is respect and civility, especially to anyone you interact with in the comments. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.